Alrighty guys, we're back for the Mire Ninjas, and this is an Outlaws at Thunder Junction Standard brew, and I'm Redcat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion down in the comments. So thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. With rotation right around the corner, we're losing a lot of ninjas, a lot of really cool ones like Moon Circuit Hacker, Prosperous Thief, Thousand-Faced Shadow also leaving us, unfortunately. But we also got these new ninjas to try out too, like this Satoru, the Infiltrator. It's a 2-mana 2/3 legendary creature, rockin' Menace. And when the Infiltrator and or one or more other non-token creatures enter the battlefield under your control, if none of them were cast or no mana was spent to cast them, you draw a card. So of course, that works with ninjutsu, but it also works with plotting things as well. So we do have all three Jace Reawakened in here. I don't remember if this is my first time playing with the new Jace or not. I feel like it isn't, but I also don't know where I played with Jace. So yeah, you can't cast this spell during your first, second, or third turns of the game, which is totally fine. It's got that +1 where you draw a card, then discard a card, and then it's got that other +1 where you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted, which hopefully is actually pretty good in here. We do have other planeswalkers packed in, like a couple Kaito Shizukis. Now, generating that token is fine and dandy, but remember, on this Infiltrator card here, it does say non-token creature, so it's not like you're going to be pooping tokens and drawing cards. That would be a little bit silly, huh? We do have other powerful ninjas packed in that are unfortunately going to be leaving us with rotation. Got Silverfur Master, 2-mana 2/2. It's got that ninjutsu, and then this is a very important one in here. There's a reason I'm going over this one, but not all the other old ones, right? Because other ninja and rogue creatures you control get +1/+1. Beautiful stuff. So it also works with rogues, which is one of the reasons why we're opting for Network Disruptor as well. And Network Disruptor happens to pair nicely with all the ninjas in general, because when it ETBs, you tap target permanent. You can tap down a creature and then hopefully get a nice swing at the opponent's face. So that way you can activate your ninjutsu abilities and everything. Actually opting for all 4 3 steps ahead for the same reason we're opting for all 4,000 Face Shadow. Copying things like Silverfur Master is beautiful. Outside of that, just some counter spells, because we only really have tempo in here with all 4 Fading Hopes too. So you could Fading Hope something and then maybe hit it with a counter spell later on. All right, guys, is there anything else? A little bit more plotting here with a single Fblthp Lost on the Range and another rogue packed in with a single Tinybones the Pickpocket. All those extra legendaries and whatnot is going to work well with our utility land. Of course, Soaring City, Abandoned Mire making the cut. Got our fast land with the shores. We do have a Shipwreck Marsh, because I think the mana base is going to be pretty greedy sometimes. Actually, 2 Shipwreck Marsh. We got a couple Cavern of Souls, calling ninjas more often than not. More fast land with the river, as well as a Restless Reef. Hopefully not slowing us down too much here. Same concept with the Shipwreck Marsh. No honorable mentions today. Let me know what, at the very least, should have been in the honorable mentions. What did I miss? Okay, guys, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, because I do like to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, or the more in-depth rambling. All right, let's go ahead, take it into some ranked and see how we do. Right into that first game, guys. Let's go. Man, it's been forever since we played Ninja. So, what am I expecting from the build? I have no clue. I really don't. It's probably going to be worse than the Orzhov Phyrexians we played yesterday. It's probably going to be worse than that, but you never know, dude. I'm going to keep this. I like seeing the Infiltrator in our opener here. Satoru, the Infiltrator. There's a chance of seeing an untapped land off the top, so I am gonna take that damage and get our flyer down. Because if we see an untapped source, that's pretty good. We'll buff it, get the Silverfur Master down before combat, or maybe we'll just ninjutsu it down, because it's the same amount of damage. Then we get to bounce the Thousand-Face Shadow back. Unfortunately, we do not see the untapped source, but Fading Hope is open, so, and we still get the swing for the turn. Outside of the untapped source, we could have seen one of our ninjutsu for 1 cards too. They let the 1 go through, and it was probably a counterspell then open, right? Getting the Infiltrator down could be interesting. I guess, well, first of all, after combat, but we have to decide when we're swinging if we want to go for the Silver Fur Master or if we want to just get the Infiltrator down. I'm going to try just the Infiltrator, even though I'm expecting a counterspell. I think this is a little bit cooler, and then maybe we can start to reestablish our hand off of the Silver Fur Master next turn. And mana off the top, of course, would be pretty good for us, but we do have the Jace for next turn if we don't. Or the Silver Fur Master, but we have to anticipate something from the opponent, and that includes removal. So when we plot a card, plotted cards may be cast as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. If we look at the spree cards, choose one or more additional costs. So the only part of the plotted spree cards that is free is actually this top cost. I think, at least. Hey, there's a 3rd mana. So they got rid of our flyer. We have 3 steps ahead as a counterspell right now. Do we just, like, swing? Also, when you plot something, it is also at sorcery speed, too. So that's definitely noteworthy if you ever actually do that to a spree card. Silver Fur Master's tempting, but I'm just going to keep the 3 steps ahead open with the Fading Hopes. Mainly because of what we're anticipating over here. Some control from the opponent. I guess we could get the Jace down and have the Fading Hope open still. Fading Hope acting as protection for the Infiltrator at this point. And Jace acting as a way to get some counter spells out of the opponent's hand. Which is actually just not working. So let's plot the Silver Fur Master then. Because a free Silver Fur Master is pretty darn good, man. Yeah, Jace coming down, getting established. Like I am playing this out, anticipating my cards not to hit. But they are. This could be a Wandering Emperor turn, maybe. Like, we have our Planeswalker, they'll have theirs. And they could, but, I mean, they would have wanted to do Wandering Emperor. Oh, well, there it is. So if they go, I guess it depends what they want to do here. Go for the Samurai? Okay. Yeah, it depends if they want the Wandering Emperor to die. They could still go -2 for the Infiltrator. Gonna go plus, so Fading Hope gonna hit that token, hopefully. They swing at Jace, we're definitely attempting the Fading Hope and seeing if they have a counterspell for this. The Underground Rivers are starting to hurt. We're down to 16. Gonna be No More Lies, number 1 from the opponent. And Jace is not dead. 3rd mana is gonna be a Storefront. Okay, another Jace. Yeah, Jace being in here specifically to plot up our creatures. I guess we'll start with that, see what we draw on the Infiltrator. Because we could see a creature that we wouldn't mind plotting. More mana? I don't mind it. Menace on the Infiltrator should help us take care of the Wandering Emperor unless... let's go for the draw and discard on the Jace. Yeah, we don't need a 5th right now, especially an Underground River. Let's see what that Menace actually ends up doing for us. Cleaning up the Emperor would be huge. We're 3 steps ahead, open too. We got some good tempo in hand. All right. So Fading Hope available and 3 Steps Ahead available too. And we might... Okay, there's actually quite a few options here. Could always copy Silver Fur Master. They become 3/3s. And then we have a good block. Or we just like drop the Fading Hope and that's fine too. That's probably fine too, because at least we'll have a counterspell for their counterspell if they do it that way. More mana off the top we don't need right now. Although a blue source wouldn't be terrible. Passing it to us. We don't have 4 available to copy anything right now, and I don't want to do the draw. Another Jace. Alright, so we'll start with the draw then. And discard one of the Jaces. Another Fading Hope. Off of a swing, we could copy Silver Fur Master and get a couple extra damage through, but then they could easily drop a board wipe, and then we are very sad about that. It is down to 12. Just gonna keep it all open. Having these like full-on counterspells is gonna be so good for us, guys. It really, really is. Because when it comes time for Sunfall, Jace just acting as a card that's filtering us through the deck is definitely proving itself. I think that's really good. Temporary lockdown with 2 mana open still. No more lies on the 3 steps ahead. They pick up 2 creatures, but we could always bounce one with the Fading Hope. This is definitely worth the attempted counter, right? Down to 15. It counters. All right. Dude, No More Lies is not in the opponent's hand. Fblthp, hi, buddy. Again, I wouldn't mind getting that excess damage through, but start with the draw on the Jace. Mana. Actually, Cavern of Souls is actually pretty good because we could call a Ninja on it. Like Fblthp. Let's get rid of the Jace, and we might plot up. Well, I don't know what I want to do, actually. I'm going to call Ninja for future ninjas rather than Homunculus. Because we're just going to keep 3 steps ahead open again this turn, I'm pretty sure. That's pretty good. Because we have to anticipate more board wipes from the opponent, too. 5 mana. Interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to keep the 3 steps ahead as a counterspell. Oh, Thousand Face Shadow. Oh. So the ninjutsu cost 1 less because of the Silver Fur Master. If we bounce the Infiltrator, copy the Silver Fur Master, it's 3. That's still just we're just gonna keep it all back. So we're just gonna start. Actually, I'll use Jace as a bit of card draw next turn off of a plot. So we're just gonna start with the 5 swing, see what they do. Wandering Emperor is gonna be a counterspell, and okay, all 5 mana. Draw 2, discard a card. Lots going on, man. A lot to think about. Oh, Spell Pierce exists sometimes. Elspeth Smite. Oh, okay. So draw 2, Prosperous Thief. All right, discard the Cavern. We don't need that right now, I would say. Opponent's down to 4. We're going to go with plotting, and I think we plot another piece in place. Fblthp. That's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. I'll tell you what, dude, Jace really proven itself. Since the opponent hasn't had a great way to like take care of it, all of our extra counter spells really proven itself as well. The 3 steps ahead was awesome. Sunfall for 1 creature. All right. So more plotting could happen without any haste. Gonna have a hard time here. Actually just gonna go for top ability. Silver for Master. Pretty good. Alright. Let's get the Fblthp down. 3 steps ahead. Is that something I want to plot? Not necessarily. I don't want this to be at sorcery speed. But I get to see more off the top is the thing. We get one more creature down. It's pretty likely. At sorcery speed, copying something could still be pretty good. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to get Thousand Face Shadow down, because if they don't have a board wipe, then this is fine. And yeah, I don't want to plot the 3 steps ahead. Seeing more off the top could be good too, but I actually just want this in my hand. We have Fading Hope open to protect something. Sunfall. Alright. Thousand Face Shadow or Fblthp? Well, like, which one do we actually want to save? I'm going to go for the Shadow because of the evasion. And I still want that 3 steps ahead in my hand when it comes time. I'm sorry, Fblthp. I'm so sorry. Okay. So we do have Jace Reawakened -6 until end of turn. Whenever you cast a spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. We just don't need that right now. So we're just going to go Filter, I guess. Moon Circuit Hacker. Hi, you could have been pretty good earlier. Prosperous Thief. I guess drawing's more important than the treasures at this point in the game, right? So Prosperous Thief. Get a card down that has evasion. But we don't want to play too many of our creatures because at any point it could just be more board wipes. Yeah, we want evasion above the incubator tokens. Storefront. What a game, dude. What on earth? Yeah, I think getting those 3 steps ahead, I think this is going to prove itself. Realmbreaker. All right. Yeah, the opponent is back up to 5, by the way. With 2 mana available, 3 steps ahead, we could copy the Thousand Face Shadow. Is that worth it? Is that worth it? Let's do it. Come on. I hope they don't have spot removal. Come on. Oh, no more lies. But they're tapped out now, guys, so we just have to figure out a way through. But with only 1 creature on the board, silver for a master. Dude, this has been a tough time. Yeah, we need multiple creatures on the board to really pop off with the ninjutsu on the Thousand Face Shadow. So we're probably going for the draw on the Moon Circuit Hacker. Until end of turn, whenever you cast a spell, copy it, choose new... Oh! If we just straight up play silver for master, we copy it. Which means we buff twice. So we'll get the swing. And ninjutsu. Okay. Okay. And then ninjutsu. This is crazy, dude. This is actually wild. Hey, wait a minute. Why did we get that copy? Wait a minute, wait a minute. What was I doing? Oh, it has to be an attacking creature. I'm gonna keep the Shores for the Jace. I guess we just ran right into a board wipe, guys. Oh dear. Oh dear. I was like, yeah, we're gonna copy the Silver Fur Master. This is gonna be crazy, man. This is what I get for not reading all these when we went over the deck list, right? So this specifically says, right, when it enters the battlefield from your hand, if it's attacking, so when you use the ninjutsu ability, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. GG opponent. Wow, that was what I should consider an uphill battle, but the deck actually performed very nicely, and this Jace was definitely the bane of the opponent's existence. Holy cow, look at all the stuff we survived. 3 steps ahead, proving itself really nicely. That could have been really bad. Because I'm sitting here like, oh man, I found a insane way to get a whole bunch through, having the ninjutsu cost 2 less because of the double silver for master. That would have been really cool, but yeah, we still needed another attacking creature there. Luckily, we were not punished. That is important. And taking down control feels really, really good. Very nice. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Yeah, overall, with yesterday's video and this ninja video too, I feel like I'm just not playing Magic very well today. It's one of those days where after this video, I'm probably just going to sit down and wait until tomorrow to record the rest of the week's videos, you know what I mean? Hopefully I'm still playing it all out well enough for you guys. If not, always feel free. Let me know in the comments what plays did I miss? What plays would have been much better? Because I do like reading that stuff and I'm trying to do better next time. When it goes first, I'll keep this. Start with the Reef probably, because we don't need a turn 1 Disruptor necessarily. Phoenix Chick, nice. Actually, take less damage. Let's go Soaring City. Let's get this Disruptor down. Since they have the Phoenix Chick, I think that would be a worthwhile trade. But I think I am going to keep the Disruptor for now to get the Silver Fur Master, but also we could see more ninjutsu off the top. Ooh, Feldon. It's nice to see that none of these can block. Just take the 3 for now and hope that we don't regret that later. Darkslick Shores. Instead of bouncing Disruptor, and everything's tapped on the opponent's side, I'm just going to play this. Going from playing around control right up against mono red aggro. They're definitely 2 very different games. Silver Fur, no, get down. No, Silver Fur, my friend. Prosperous Thief, ooh. Okay. Okay. I'd say we definitely start with the swing here. Prosperous Thief for 2. Restless Reef probably comes down tapped now. Just have that down. I really don't want to get the river down because we don't want any extra damage here. But we could keep Fading Hope open and still get Disruptor down for the turn 2. Which I guess is a little better than setting up the Reef, right? And the emergency would be Fading Hope. So let's pop the treasure for the Disruptor. Yeah, they're going to be swinging next turn anyway, so Fading Hope is open with the river. That's probably okay. Squee. We should bounce that. It's a pretty good tempo play. And we want to do it before they swing. I'd say we don't need that island right now. Three or more creatures attacking. Squee in hand. We should block, I hope, I think, maybe. Going down to 7, so like we're in danger pretty much no matter what. Island. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. Jace. Start with the draw. Oh no, the flood, the flood. Ah! So keep a blocker. Play the Restless Reef. That's really our only option based on what's in hand, right? I think so. Might be because I played that Soaring City earlier. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Played it a little differently, had the channel ability available. Wouldn't have been that much different though. They decide not to play the Squee. They're actually just going to bring back the Phoenix Chick that we blocked last turn. That's scary business, man. I'm going to try the block on the Swift Spirit, taking 5, and we could easily die. Down to 2. The last card of the opponent's hand was not Burn. Woo! Ooh. Kaito's pretty good. And plotting up Kaito's pretty good too, but not in this particular game. With the Restless Reef, we do have that to power up. If we wanted to swing for 7, we'd still have 1 mana open too. It's just much better to see what's on top. I've been loving Jace in these games, man. Very nice. Yeah. So they win in the air no matter what next turn. So we're just playing this out for fun. Get that down. We will swing. Totally fine. Even if they weren't winning in the air, then they'd win by going wide enough here too. Kaito, and we draw a free card. Fading Hope. Oh. Man, I'll tell you what, like, we really put up a fight here, actually. Yeah, because we have the mana to tempo out the squee again. The Phoenix Chick still wins in the air regardless, but that's pretty good, man. It is. They'll keep whatever it is on top. Having the double Planeswalkers on the side too. If for some reason we were able to take less damage that game, then having double Planeswalkers over here really could have helped us just kind of build an engine for that mid game. So the opponent's version of mono red, a little bit different than, you know, generally speaking, there's like maybe like 4 different variations of mono red we see. We see the heavily leaning Prowess that runs like Fugitive Codebreaker, of course, Swiftspear, and Slickshot Show Off as well, right? Then we have like the Godric mono red that still pops up every now and then as well. And then I know there's more. There's like 2 more different variations. Can't think of them right now though. 1 island in hand, guys. Opponent goes first, so we are on the draw. We could see a little bit more. Could potentially draw on Moon Circuit Hacker turn 2 if Thousand Face Shadow survives too. Call me crazy, I'm keeping this. Plains. Hopeful Initiate. Okay, Thousand Face Shadow might actually survive this turn. If it's humans, usually like Brutal Cathar or something. Oh, yeah. Ew. Ew. Okay. Swing. Moon Circuit Hacker. All according to plan. Let's draw that mana. Get that Thousand Face Shadow back down. Hey, hey. Darkslick Shores. Actually, thinking about that Tinybones. It is going to be the Tinybones, I think. It blocks the Initiate pretty well, or we have an option. Well, they might just keep the Thalia back, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be swinging here. Adeline. Adeline's a problem. A problem that Tinybones deals with. Yeah, that's a problem. But if we don't pick up something now, it could be Brutal Cathar next turn. And then we won't have the block into the Adeline anyway, so we should block while we have the block, in other words. Silverfur Master. If I swing, do you guys think that we'll cheese it through? Probably not. Probably not. So let's go wide here. Thousand Face Shadow. Thousand Face Shadow. And then we just wait. We see what they do. Yeah, going wide means if they spend all 3 of their mana for 1 piece of removal, then we still might have a couple creatures remaining to do something fancy with our ninjutsu next turn. They do find their 4th, go for a Warden. It's crazy to think how much we're actually losing from rotation. You know what I mean? Adeline's out of here. Like, seriously, we've played with this card so much. This is one that I'm actually going to miss. Like, there's cards that I'm just not going to miss at all, like Wandering Emperor, for example. Like I was ready for that card to leave like a year ago. They do find a bit of removal with an ossification, actually. Going for the full swing. We are in trouble regardless, guys. We're just going to take this damage. 3 steps ahead. Most of our hand is being taxed. You know, I don't think I'm going to miss Thalia either. I think that you that I said earlier. I think that said it all, right? So swinging with Thousand Face Shadow. Even if Thalia wasn't on the board, this doesn't really deal with the Adeline threat at hand. If we swing Silver Moon, or Silver for Smithy, Silver for Master. Oh my goodness, guys, is an option, but Prosperous Thief's a little better. If we saw mana, 1, 2, pretty much dead next turn, anyways. But I guess we'll just swing with 1. That way we keep a chump blocker if we need it. We get the 3 through, and then we play the Thousand-Faced Shadow. It's really funny how many card names I started combining there. So we have a couple chump blockers if we think we can survive for the turn. So if they play Cathar, they pick up 1, then we chump the Adeline, and we take 5. So having the 2 here is actually not half bad. I've been saying Brutal Cathar this whole time, but it's actually just been other stuff. Ossification, Get Lost. And, oh, we're taking 6 actually because the Adeline generates more. Hey, mana off the top. All right. Yeah, 3rd mana a little bit sooner could have been good. Yeah, even if we weren't getting taxed, we would have been in trouble here, I would say. We can successfully, actually, we can't successfully. So I guess we buff the Thief. They just take the 4 here without any issues. Or 5, depending on what the map token reveals. Thousand-Faced Shadow. So the trade is not worthwhile for the opponent. We get them down to 10. And we drop them the GGs because... but first, we'll spend that treasure on the map token that we had left. Okay, not bad. Humans just kind of being a little bit too much for this deck list to handle in this matchup, especially with that Thalia and everything. Knight Errant of Eos for fun, just playing out the cards, get some quests done. Oh, Intrepid Adversary. Oh, Copper Cove Vanguard too. Very nice opponent. We are going to take the big old chump, drop him the GGs. Okay, guys, 33% win rate. I think we can totally bring that up. I think the resilience of ninjas and what ninjas showed in that first game, I think we can totally get there. Last 2 losses, very aggressive deck lists. I think we can technically get there against aggressive deck lists too, so try to bring that deck win rate up to a 50% at the very least. I believe in it. I believe in the list. Good hand. Let's do it. Disruptor, or I guess since we plan on Moon Circuit Hacker, we'll go Thousand Face Shadow. Bounces it back. We'll keep the ETB on the Disruptor for something else. Ooh. Is it Thief now instead? I was planning on Hacker, but I guess it should be Thief, right? That way we can just play the 1000 Moon back. A bit more damage here too. And it is going to be the 1000 Moon because we want to keep the Disruptor for the same reason that specified last turn. Mana off the top could be good. Okay, Boros colors from the opponent. Lightning Helix for the Thief. Oh, that life gain is going to be brutal. If this is Boros mid-range, might have a really rough time. So mana, not terrible. Start with the draw on the Hacker or just go Kaito. Probably just Kaito for the turn. If we still had the Prosperous Thief, of course, we'd do a little bit more, but establishing the Kaito and then it goes and phases. I'm actually tempted by the ninja over the draw. But if it's Boros mid-range, we're going to need more in hand, so we'll get that free draw while we have it. Third mana from the opponent. Urabrask's Forge, that is scary, dude. Okay, okay. The board wipes are probably packed through the opponent's deck. Brotherhood's End, stuff like that, right? So early board wipes and everything. Okay, we can call Ninja on this quite successfully. Rogue could be a good call too, for what's in our hand. Okay, go for the Moon Circuit Hacker. Get a draw that way. Island. Draw on Kaito? I guess like just restocking our hand to the extreme is just pretty good. So play around board wipe or not play around board wipe. We'll play around it a little bit and we'll get the Disruptor down. Just one of them. And they know that we're keeping Thousand Face Shadow in hand. And we kind of have to anticipate what the opponent's playing here. And Kaito gets picked up by a lot of the board wipes that burn. So Brotherhood's End hits it for 3. It is going to be a Brotherhood's End too. The Forge coming through. Good thing we played around that, but even if we did play around it, we're kind of in trouble. I believe in the list though. I think we can still get there. Okay, we'll get a little bit more down here. And we're actually going to go Ninja. And then over Disruptor, I'm going to get the Thousand Face Shadow down. And keep the other 2 creatures in hand. So we got 2 more creatures on the board. 2 creatures in hand. And with the excessive amount of board wipes... I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, as soon as Forge came down, I was like, oh boy. Wedding announcement. Okay. Okay. Yeah, dude, we're probably in a lot of trouble here. Swings at face. We'll take the 3. Luckily, a lot of evasion on our board right now. They still have 2 open. Could be a Lightning Helix. It is going to be a Lightning Helix for the Thousand Faced, unfortunately. Mana is not great. If we swing and go Moon Circuit Hacker, we'll get a free draw, but we lose our Ninja. It doesn't bounce to hand. So they definitely chose the right target there. But free draw on that and the Kaito is pretty good. So I think we do that. The deck list showing a lot of resilience, man. A lot of ways to restock the hand. Uh-oh, a little bit of a flood. Oh, actually a big flood. Crap. Do we play Disruptor or do we continue to play around a board wipe? Based on this hand, only 1 Brotherhood's End has been played. Forge is a problem. That's going to take care of the Kaito anyways. Unfortunately, we played around it earlier. We just don't have much in hand. Usually I would say we played Disruptor regardless, but with this hand, like usually at that point we'd have a couple other creatures to play next turn too, but this is definitely a bit of a flood. We'll see. Right now we're just hoping we get a little lucky to actually keep a couple of these out there. With 6 mana available, they're not powering up the Restless Bivouac here, which is a little bit surprising. Kaito's out of the equation, and we're not going to accept that block. Wedding Announcement gets them another token, and Moon Circuit Hacker has no clear way through. 6 mana for the Inner Sun gets them a Discover 5. It's gonna be a Wandering Emperor. Dude, opponent's deck list is actually pretty sick, huh? Wandering Emperor, since it entered, has flash on its abilities. They're gonna go for a 2/2 actually. Silver Fur Master, hi. Hello. It's just too bad we have so much mana in hand though. But Silver Fur Master. So if we go, how do we want to do this? Unblocked attacker. So if we go swing Moon Circuit Hacker over here, Disruptor over here, Silver Fur as a surprise, and then play Disruptor out of hand, get the ETB. The ETB actually doesn't do anything for us though. But I guess there's a chance that they let the Moon Circuit Hacker go through too. If we go like this. So it is still better to do the surprise. Because there's a small chance that they don't block the hacker. Yeah, they end up blocking the hacker. But that's okay, because we still have the ninjutsu on the Disruptor. So we get that through, and then we have the ETB on the Disruptor, I guess, right? I guess. We'll tap down the Inner Sun. So it all accomplished the exact same thing, unless I didn't want to attack with the Moon Circuit Hacker, which I'm pretty sure we wanted to. Wedding Announcement. It had that effect around it because spells they control can't be countered. The Phyrexian Horror going up to a 5/1. Our 2/2 actually successfully blocking the human. We're just going to take the 5 here. We are in so much trouble. Was it as simple as one Brotherhood's End? No, probably not that simple. Was it as simple as a third Lightning Helix? No, probably wasn't that simple either, but still. Sunfall, they're just putting that in hand probably, right? Yeah, there's no reason to drop that right now. First Wedding Announcement flips and they get a couple more humans. Prosperous Thief. Hi. It's too bad they hit the Lightning Helix. In other words, that would have been really good. They do have a lot of life gain, though, at 21 currently. Mana comes down. No great reason to swing, so we just play Thief as a blocker, and we don't want to lose the Silver Fur Master because a 4/3 blocks a 2/2 nicely. However, the Forge is still going to be getting through. And they have the Restless Bivouac to power up too. Oh, buddy. I guess we're going to be forced to block as much as possible here, because that's 7. Now, that's lethal no matter what. Yeah, they might as well put it... Well, they can put this anywhere, actually, because, yeah, if they buff wide, the 7 gets through regardless. So if we go, like, block Bivouac and chump the 3/3, we're still taking 11. Is that the best blocks, though? I think so, because of the trample on this. GG opponent. Oh my goodness. Deck win rate going down to a 25%. Kind of felt a little unlucky in that game, though, huh? I'll tell you what. However, there's probably a good reason that we don't get to see much ninjas in ranked. Now, we do get to see them every once in a while for mono blue, though. Let's go over the deck one more time. This was actually a little bit more complicated than I would have originally anticipated. It just might be me today, though, honestly. It's like I said somewhere in the middle of the video. I kind of feel like I'm struggling to play Magic today for some reason. Guys, hey, while I have you here at the end of the video, make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link, too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. So here's the deck list again, guys. All right. Satoru, the Infiltrator. Cool, man. I think that just like extra card draw might be a little unnecessary, but I do really like the menace on this and everything. Human Ninja Rogue. I like it. I think it's a good addition to ninjas. Silver Fur Master kind of struggled to get established on the board a little bit today. There weren't a lot of like really neat tricks that we could have done with ninjutsu because we were actually just really struggling to keep other creatures on the board as well. So like Disruptor and Thousand Face Shadow, you guys saw how often I was just like, yeah, we need multiple things on the board. And so like doing our dandiest to kind of go wide in the air. So like 8 1-drops that have evasion, it's actually pretty good. And we can consider that 9 if you want to count like Death Touch as evasion, because every now and then it kind of does count as that, you know, because the opponent doesn't want to block the Death Touch. Jace really proved itself today, man. Where does this belong? I have no clue. It kind of belonged in here, right? I really like that middle plot ability. Not being able to play it on the first, second, or third turn, totally fine. Kind of still worked, right? Where does this belong, dude? Just like, I guess mono blue tempo would make the most sense. Also, guys, we really weren't held up on the mana base too often today. While I said it was probably pretty greedy, we had a lot of dual lands and everything packed in. I think it was totally fine. What do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, look at all those dual lands, right? Yeah, I think we were fine. The double cavern didn't really hold us up either. I would keep the double cavern to call ninja more often than not. There are going to be moments where you call rogue though, and rogue still works with, of course, Tinybones, Disruptor. Prosperous Thief is not a rogue, but its ability works with rogues. Don't forget that. And same concept with the Silver Fur Master too. Infiltrator is a rogue. Hacker is not a rogue, and Fblthp just doesn't really fit any theme in here except for the plot theme, which I think is totally fine. If you are playing Jace and you're plotting up any of your 3-drops, you're probably feeling pretty good about that, especially if it's Kaito or Fblthp, because Prosperous Thief, of course, you're trying to get down with that ninjutsu for 2. 3 Steps Ahead was really good today too, but as you guys saw, we actually really struggled against aggro builds. Well, we had a good chance of reestablishing against that first control build, and then we had the like Boros token control / mid-range probably, right? With like the Brotherhood's End. I bet they had Burn Down the House in there too, all that fancy stuff. I think there could have been a good chance if we would have hit like some counter spells with 3 Steps Ahead. We did end up flooding out pretty good in that last game with only 22 mana. That was definitely a flood. So I wouldn't go up any mana and I wouldn't go down any either. There's going to be so many moments where you need the 22 in here because you need to see your 3-on-3 or something like that. Even if you are ramping with Prosperous Thief, it's still a pretty greedy list as far as like how expensive some things can get, because sometimes you can consider 3 Steps Ahead a 4 mana card too, especially if you're copying like Silver Fur Master or something. And copying on the Thousand Face Shadow, yeah, keep your eye on that. Remember, it has to be attacking creature. Because in the first game, that could have been really, really bad, dude. That could have been a massive mistake. We even got to Ultimate Jace today, which was cool. We didn't get to do too many cool things with the Ultimate, but it's still pretty cool that we actually got to that point. And the opponent was just really struggling with this Jace on the board, so neat stuff. I liked it. It did not perform as well as I thought. I thought for sure we could get it up to a 50%, but I'll tell you what, if we played like another 4 games, then I do actually believe we could get this up to a 50%, because yeah, some of those losses didn't really feel like they didn't feel the word I'm looking for. I guess we'll just go back to luck, right? They kind of felt unlucky, right? In some of them. And then also too, maybe I could have played it out a little better, played things in a little bit of a different order, anticipated the opponent's plays a little bit better. All of that really does matter and come into play, especially when you're playing a deck like this too. Tempo lists in particular, it really matters the order of things. So, okay, guys. Hey, enough rambling. I can't think of anything else to say about the list. Infiltrator, we're going to have to return to this one at some point in the future, but outside of ninjas, where else does it belong? I guess we'd have to have like a dedicated plot list. Is there enough things that help us plot with the Infiltrator? Maybe. It's a neat card, and luckily it doesn't say like once per turn too. If you end up doing multiple things, you're just kind of restocking your hand really nicely. So yeah, really neat card. Okay, guys, hey, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. Definitely let me know in the comments too, what would you add or take out, and let me know if you had fun today, regardless of the losses. Okie dokies, I will see you in the next video.